Today I'm replacing my anti-siphon valve. I've learned a lot about anti-siphon valve in the last 3 years. I had to replace one off the cost of Cuba, and I had to jerry-rig that somehow to work, but I've learned a lot, and through YouTube had given me a lot of information. So I like to make one video that introduces back some of the stuff I learned, and hopefully it helps other people as it helped me in understanding what an anti-siphon valve is in a system and how it protects your engine from over flooding with water. So I'm taking the old air valve out. Notice how I have it in the center of the boat. This is to prevent water from backflowing into the system when the boat is heeling and sailing upwind. I'm gonna mark these hoses to make sure that the intake and the outtake are not mixed once I take it out. It goes on diesel engines and any other instrument that needs to take water in, circulate through a system and take water out. Now when I first started sailing, I didn't know what this was. I learned through replacing 2 or 3 of them, different brands, and this is my 3rd one actually. So I wanted to give back because I learned from YouTube and I wanted to explain to people what it does. It has an inlet and an outlet. So the inlet takes the water in. It circulates it through the water filter, the raw water pump on the engine, into the anti-siphon valve, and through the system, through the exhaust and outside the boat. That's all good when the system is running. I'll have to speak up higher, there's a boat coming. And what changes is when the engine stops running, the propeller, the raw water pump stops running, then water enters the system, and if it's not stopped, water can backflow into your exhaust system and flood your engine. In the worst case scenario, you sink your boat. But there will be many signs that you can rescue that before it happens.
I took it out. I took the screws on top here.
So I'm opening now. I think this is the check valve.
It springs up and down.
So the new air vent has arrived. It's made by Vetus. It's a European company. I'll put the link down below. So Vetus makes 2 types of air valves. There is one that has air vents. Vetus makes 2 types of air vents. There is one that has a valve inside and one that does not have a valve. So this has a valve inside. So basically what you have to do periodically is you unscrew these screws here and you open this cap up, and there is a small valve in there and a silicone ring around it, and that gets some salt stuck on it. So periodically you have to open it up, clean it, and spray it with Teflon. Basically that's maintenance that you have to do, which was the problem with the one I had. I didn't maintain it, and while I was sailing from Belize, it kept spitting water out because the valve inside was not fully opening up. So that's the new one. We're gonna install it today. I'll take a video of that as well. One last thing that you need to keep in mind once you install this, it has to be about 16 inches minimum, 16 inches above the water line, but no more than I think 4 or 5 feet above the water line. And if you are in a sailing ship, which I am, Shanti, the sailing ship, this has to go in the middle of the midship, the closest center to the closest point to the center. So when the boat is heeling over and a close hole or a close reach, when you are sailing upwind, there is no water that's being sucked back into the air vent. So yeah, it has different thread size for the pipe. The pipe I'm using, I think these are in metric, 25, 32, 19 millimeter. I'm gonna have to cut this guy off and stick my pipe into here. It goes forward in, yeah. And this guy here, this is the air. This is a pipe to vent out air. Another thing what I'm going to do with this time with this air vent is I'm going to hook up a hose from here all the way down to the bilge. So when this operates correctly, there is little amount of water that's spraying out, and if it sprays on your engine, it's salt water, so obviously it can cause an electric short, especially if it gets on your starter, which it did to me, which is why this is so important for me to make the video, because I'm basically learning from the mistakes I've made, and I'm hoping to teach other people how to install it. So you hook up a hose right here, and you drain it all the way down to your bilge, and yeah. Okay, I'll take a video of that. So I put the new one in. I connected the water hose right there, so that's gonna drain to the pump. I lubricated the valve. I opened it. I put some Teflon spray in there as well. Putting it back center point of the boat. That's pretty much it. Have to open up the valve and clean it, you know, maybe each season once, but other than that should work flawlessly. And this will take care of spraying the water, the extra water that sprays out. You're probably gonna connect the hose all the way there and drain it down to the bilge. I hope it's long enough. Get in there nice and tight. Okay, good. That's it, baby.